Today, I'm going to share with you guys two of the most common mistakes I see traders making with trading with volume profile. Now, volume profile gives us a huge edge in the market. We can see where both buyers and sellers perceive to be fair value in the market. And if you only trade support resistance, then mistake number two is also going to apply to you. So even if you don't trade with volume profile, stay with me to the end because number two, you want to pay close attention to. Now, when we're dealing with volume profile, there's basically three main levels that most people talk about. You guys hear me talk about it all the time in my analysis videos. We have value area high. We have the point of control and value area low. Now, point of control, just know point of control means it's the price level that had the most amount of volume traded at it. Now, why is that significant? Very simple. If this is the price point that had the most amount of volume, that meant that both buyers and sellers perceived that to be fair value at that time. Then we have what's called value area high and value area low. Now, depending on your volume profile settings, this could differ a bit. For instance, the two common value areas that most people use are going to be 68 or 70%. If we come right over here to your settings tab, you can see right here, I use 68. I have a specific reason for why I use 68 and not 70. And yes, I have used both in the past. Now, when we come over and we look at mistake number one, it's going to deal with the point of control. Now, a lot of times in my analysis videos, you hear me say the market's probably going to run and test the point of control. And let's talk about an example real quick. Let's say, for instance, on this day right here, I'm doing my analysis in the morning. I'm going to draw a horizontal line across value area low. Then I'm going to draw a line across value area high, just so we can see it very easily. And normally what I'll say is if we come above value area high, then we start coming back down. I then want to target the point of control. Then we look for the next volume profile level to the downside. And the same thing could be said to the downside. If we break value area low, then the market starts coming back up. I then look for the market to come back up and test that point of control. Well, here's where a lot of traders make the mistake. They say, all right, point of control, that must be an area on the chart where I need to go ahead and initiate the trade. And that is absolutely wrong. Keep in mind, if this is perceived to be fair value, then both buyers and sellers both agree that's going to be fair value. And you're really setting yourself up to take a trade right as we're entering a chop zone. Now, sometimes does the market reject right off the point of control? It does, but think about this logically. If more people perceive something to be fair value, are we more likely to move away from that level, or are we more likely to be attracted back to that level like a magnet? Now, let's look at a couple of examples of that. For instance, we'll see this yellow line right here. I'm just going to simply draw a horizontal line across this. Now that white line represents the point of control right here from this day. Notice what we did. What did the market do? Came right up above it. We came right down. We came right back up. We came down through it. Did the market respect that level whatsoever? No, but would that be a good area to take a trade? Probably not. We go and look at the point of control on the next day. You can see on this case, what did the market do? Oh, we hit it, boom, rejected. We hit it, we rejected. So in this case, you might be lulled into a false sense of, hey, taking trades around the point of control do look like a good idea. But I would warn you, over the course of a large sample size of trades, you'll actually find that this becomes a much better target location than a trade entry location. Now, as we start looking at mistake number two, let's first, in this example, we're going to identify where value area high and value area low is. The point of control, I already automatically have it drawn out for us. Now, we can see where the difference between the brighter color blue than the dimmer color blue, that is going to be value area low. I'm going to simply draw a horizontal line across it. We're going to come right up here to value area high. I'm going to draw a horizontal line across it. Now, normally I have these lines plotted on my chart, but I'm trying to keep it a little bit cleaner and simpler for you. Now, when we look at this, this is a better location. This is one of two locations that are actually very good to take trades on the chart. For instance, you can see the white line coming over here. When the next day starts, and again, I prefer to wait until the day is completed. So the profile is 100% already built out. So once we start trading on this day over here, then I'm looking to play off the prior day's volume profile levels, whether it be value area high, point of control, value area low, or even the minus development areas. Now notice, what do we do? Well, right over here, we can now put conditions around it. One, did we break above value area high? The answer is yes. Then criteria number two, did we come back below it? If the answer is yes, we can then look to go short, looking to target that point of control area, then holding for a runner down here towards value area low. Now, the same thing could be said on the flip side, all right? So again, value area low, did we go below it? This white line right here. The answer is yes. Once we went below it, as soon as we started getting back above it, we can then look to play the rotation back up. And you can see it actually happened a few times within that one trading day. So trying to play around value area high or value area low are good locations, but here's where the second mistake actually comes into play. It's going to be part one of mistake number two. And a lot of traders will actually see this and say, oh, we're breaking above value area high. Let's go ahead and run. We're going to go ahead and push it. And then what does the market do? Comes right back down. Keep in mind, they call it value area high and value area low for a reason. And think about it. If you're trading support and resistance, think about this white line up here being resistance, the line down here being support. Do you really want to be a trader that's trying to sell support? More often than not, breakouts end up being false breakouts. And what we're going to do is simply return right back into value. So the best way to play support resistance, like you're taught in the textbooks, is to look to buy near support, look to sell near resistance. Now, a lot of traders are like, it doesn't make sense. I don't understand. We're breaking out of value. So we have to be in price discovery mode. And that is a real thing in volume profile. However, more times than not, we're simply going to return back into the range. So save yourself that one mistake. Now let's go ahead and walk through a trade example real quick. And I'm going to use the NinjaTrader playback feature for this. So I went ahead and marked off value area low with a white line. I marked off value area high. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark off the point of control. Now with the point of control line, I'm going to go ahead and make this yellow. And now I want to show you how simple this could actually be. Now we're going to come right over here to the smaller time frame chart. Here's the three lines that we drew out: value area high, point of control, and value area low. Now, one of the great things about the volume profile, when you trade it correctly, we can just simply come right over here, hit buy stop market. I can place it right there. Then what we can do is we come right over here to the NinjaTrader playback control head. And I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. See if we can get price to go ahead and trigger our order real quick. And I'm simply going to speed this up a bit more and a bit more. Now notice, if price never makes it up to our entry order, guess what? A trade will never be placed. All right, now a trade has went ahead and fired off. I'm going to move the target one down towards the point of control, target number two right towards value area high, and then we can just go ahead and hit play, and let's see how everything works out. Now, one thing I am going to say, and this is how I like to trade the volume profile, is once target one has already been hit, I do like to go ahead and remove some of the risk from the trade. Now, in this example, normally I'll move my stop loss to break even, which I would have just got dinged out for break even. But in this case, you can see we get the full rotation up. And just like when the news came out, you can see we spiked above value area high. We had the complete rotation all the way down. So if you could catch it when it was up here, you can automatically stage your order ahead of time and then have the ability to play the volume profile rotation in your favor. I want to make everybody aware, Apex 7 a massive 80% sale off all their valuation accounts, past in as little as 1 day, and you can also get a 150K account for only $40. You get a 250K account for only $40, and you get a 300K account for only $40. So if you want to take advantage of this offer, use the link in the description box down below and use the promo code Mike at checkout. So now let's go ahead and talk about part two of mistake number two that a lot of traders make. Now, if we know that, traders tend to like to buy breakout of value area high or low, then this is going to be just the opposite. And this is going to be called a minus development area or a low volume node. And I want you to pay attention to these little valleys within the volume profile levels. And what I'll see a lot of times is I'll see traders actually trying to trade through these levels. I'm going to show you guys how they should actually be used. So what I'm going to do is simply go ahead and mark off some of these levels. And again, we're going to be trading this on the prior day. So once this profile over here is formed on this day right here, then we're looking to play off these levels. And a lot of times what traders will say is, oh, look, there's low volume there. We have to go all the way to where the high volume is. That is not necessarily the case. A lot of times in these low volume areas, that's where you'll see the market reject and push up and out. So instead of trying to sell that, be very patient. The first time we come into that level, we usually reject out. The second time, that's where we usually start to push a little bit deeper. Like on this one, we come back down for the second attempt. And what do? We would have tested the point of control. Then as we come to here, well, on the second line, we don't get a huge reaction. We almost made it down to the next one, but we did get a push back up and out. And if we look at this candle right here, almost made it down right here to the rejection zone. So just be well aware, if you're seeing these minus development areas within the volume profile, meaning these little divots, caves, whatever you want to call them, Just note, this is going to be an area where the first time we come into it, more times than not, the market is going to try to reject up and out. Now, in this case, the minus development areas were below us, so we were looking for buy side trades. However, if we go over to a day like this, you can see this minus development area really goes right about here on this day. So if we look on the next day, look what the market did. Oh, we come right into it. You get a rejection down. Where do we reject down to? Right here to the high volume area, meaning the point of control. Then what do? We come back down. The next time we come up, we get a little rejection, but you can see we build calls and then ultimately we push up and out. So that's why the first time we come back into these minus development areas tend to be the best times to trade that specific area within the volume profile. Now, if you'd like to learn how to set up volume profile on TradingView, watch this video right here.